Hello everyone, good evening. So welcome to the day 3 of JavaScript D&D CodeCamp. So I hope you all have tried up to this. Okay, some people are asking for the ChatGPT history or what is the prompt. But I have already told you that I will share it, but at the end of this. Okay, I have so many things to show you. So before that, before giving you some resources, first I want to focus on this concept, okay, or conceptual things. Now, up to this, what we have learned, what we have seen in the last session. First of all, we have set up our workspace. We have taken the coding snippet from the chat GPT and little bit of modification and understanding some JavaScript. Okay, so many things we have seen in the last session. Okay, by using this extension we can see that our what is it. Okay, so by using this extension we can see our website, like actually our application like in website. Okay, yeah, this is the thing. Already this portion we have designed in the last session. Now obviously you can improve the design. Already I have told you, you can give your own uh, prompt. Okay, you can select your own color, you can select your own style. Based on that, you can get different UI. But internal functionality also may be similar. Internal functionality may be similar because our intention is same. Okay, we all are going to design the same application. What? The mini expense monitor. Now already we have seen this add expense. Okay, we have also seen filter by category. Okay, we have also seen the total calculation is working. Color coded list we have not seen. Okay, that means actually what will happen whenever we are giving this type of category, we are actually adding something. We are adding so many things. Now color coded list means here whenever the breakdown it will show what different color for different category. Now here also let me add something so that I can show you. So suppose it is LPG bill. Now LPG bill is almost 1,000, so I am adding 1,000, and it is what? It is suppose bills, add expense. Okay, so is it added? It is not added. Why? Is there some problem? I think the function is not working properly. Whenever this event is actually not working properly. By the way, let me remove this. Later I will show you why this is not working. Save all this, refresh. Actually refresh is not required, it will automatically refresh. So LPG bill, then amount is 1,000 and category is bills. Add this. Yeah, now it is added. And suppose I am giving another like mm, transport. Okay, so suppose it is flight from uh, Goa to Mumbai. Okay, so you are returning from Goa to Mumbai, like this. So price is like suppose 1,500, 15,000. Okay, so it is what? It is travel. Add this. So here you can see what? This color coded list. This is the thing that I have shown here. Now, of course, it is working, but the thing is, I want to make this not hard coded. Okay, here you can see it is hard coded. That means um, whenever it is this, then color is defined here. Somewhere it is defined. Yeah, you can see here. So can you see? Already it is defined by transport this background color. Now it is hard coded. That means if you want to change it, you have to look into the code and you have to find this particular line where this is defined. Okay, this is very difficult to find when this CSS file is having, suppose, 10,000 or 1 lakhs of lines. Then it will be very, very, very difficult to find out the exact location where it is there. So first, today, our main intention, not today exactly, our application will be improved so that this information is taken from some data file. Okay, data file. And do you know a modern data files, any modern data file format? Earlier, this like data is stored in the XML format. Okay, it is also XML is sometimes also used to store the data. Nowadays, JSON is becoming popular. Okay, JSON is becoming popular. That means in a single JSON file, we will store all this configuration, and that file is actually responsible to hold the actual color. Okay, to hold the actual color code of that category. Now, whenever you need to change the color, what will you do? You will go to that JSON file and you will change the code only. That's all. Okay, so no need to go for some coding snippet, find that particular background color like this. Okay, or color. Okay, so this type of information always it is recommended to keep as dynamic. So we have to take from some data file. Okay, in real time in industry, what they are doing, they are either depending on database. Okay, suppose on database table is there that is actually storing that information. Okay, then some background, sorry, backend logic. Okay, server side logic is written that is taken from the data. Okay, that means the data is taken from the database, and by using the data it is generating what? It is generating the JSON file like this. Okay, so this JSON file is actually very important. At this moment we are not working in the back end, we are working in the front end. So we are assuming that we have the JSON file. In real time, what we will do, we will take or we will request to the server, please give me this JSON file. But at this moment, we are assuming that the JSON file is available in our local system. So what will you do? We are going to create in the data folder. Earlier we have the data folder. Suppose in this data folder, I'm creating a file like category.json. Now in this JSON file, we are going to write like this. Okay, so what? First of all, here it is the color name. Okay, sorry, category name. So it is the name. So suppose category name is what? Category name is fuel. Fuel. Then another thing is that is color. Color code. Color code will be what? Some hash value. Okay, hash value. Now for fuel, at this moment we don't have fuel, we have food. So suppose I am writing here food, and this food hash value is this. Understood? Now what will happen? Do you know what is the beautiful thing will happen for this? Actually, here in the HTML file, you will notice these options are also hard coded. That means you are deciding what are the options for the category in the HTML itself. Whenever we are taking the data dynamically from the category, what will happen? What are the number of elements are there? Okay, these are called objects. These are called a single object. That means flower versus open close is a single object. Okay, so number of object means number of options. And again, inside a single object, we have also stored the color code. Understood? And the same color code later we will use for showing that pie chart. Okay, this is the pie chart. Okay, later. That is the last portion of this front end application. Now in this way, we are going to uh, take multiple things, multiple objects in this way. Okay, and suppose another thing is transport. Now this is transport. Here the hash value is this. Okay, and the entire, and whenever there are multiple objects, do you know these all are considered as an array. Now inside this will be there like this. So we are actually going to generate this type of category. Okay, so it is one array. Inside a single array there are multiple objects. Now you have to understand how dynamically it will work. How dynamically it will work. That means you are actually going to take this information from the JSON file, and you are going to put it into the HTML. And for that, we are going to write what? We are going to write HTML. Okay. Yeah. So here our focus will be what? We are going to focus in this category.json file. We are going to take the data and we are going to push it in the HTML file. Now in the HTML file, we have to make this select also dynamic. Make this select also dynamic. Okay. And what are the next thing? Next thing is in the app.js, already we have seen in the last session that expenses is an array. Expenses is an array. In that expenses, actually all these data are stored. Okay, all these data are stored. That means what are the expense, title, amount, category, these are stored. Fine. So these entire array should be stored in the browser memory also. Okay, so let me go back to this ChatGPT, and we are going to obviously again we are going to give the responsibility to ChatGPT.com. And whenever I am going to see that it is not perfect and I need to write the code. Okay, because sometimes there is a small change required. For that again you are giving a prompt to ChatGPT is doing correct, but it is also changing some another portion. That will be very uh, disgusting thing. So better for small change, we are going to write our own. We are going to give finish touch. Okay, finishing touch, we are going to write our own code. We are going to modify the code by our own. And whenever uh, any major change is required, we are going to give the prompt to ChatGPT. Okay, so give the prompt here. So I need the changes. Okay, I'm writing the prompt in this way. So I need the following changes. Okay, what are these? First of all, first of all, here, mm, take the categories from uh, a JSON file, that is data slash categories dot JSON. Okay, and I'm also giving the example data. Okay, so that it can generate the data in the same way. Understood? And the next, second thing is um, store the expenses expenses in the Now already I have told you there are so many types of memories. Can you remember? Press F12 or go to this DevTools section. Then in the application tab, we have several types of storage: local storage, session storage, cookies. Okay, now already I have told you there are different purpose. Okay, now listen. Local storage is used whenever you are storing something. Whenever you are storing something and you want to keep it like uh, it is not permanent, but whenever you are closing the browser, then also it will store. Then also it will be stored internally. Session storage means only it is valid up to the tab is active. Okay, up to the tab is active. Like the application is active. Okay, in this tab, you closed the tab, the memory is cleared like this. And cookies are basically used for authentication purpose, maximum time. Already I have shown you in the last session that whenever you are opening Google, it is automatically signed in. How? Because the credential related information is actually stored in the cookie storage. Okay, so local storage in this case we are going to use, correct? Because we are going to close the tab, we are going to close the browser, but still we want the data, because it is, suppose you are using for the monthly expense calculator, suppose you want to track your entire month, then it is not recommended to open the tab for the entire month. Will you do that? If you are generating this type of application, then no one is going to use your application, correct or not? So better is you are going to use local storage. So here I am giving the prompt like store the expenses in the browser local storage. Okay, and at the time of at the time of loading, okay, you are opening the application means it is called loading. Okay, or sometimes you can also say startup at the time of startup, but in JavaScript perspective it is actually called loading. Okay, it is actually JavaScript event is onload event, onload. Okay, so store the expenses in the browser local storage, and at the time of loading the app it should take the data from local storage if available. Okay, obviously if it is not available it will create a new object and it will store it. Fine. So let me press the enter button and see what are the changes. Obviously it will give a JSON file, it will change the HTML, it will change the CSS, it will change the JavaScript. Okay, so everything needs to be changed. First of all, you can see it is giving what essential data categories. We have already that. Okay, so categories it is giving in this way. So let me take in this way categories. Fine. Copy this JSON, paste it here. Now, yeah, it is saying what? Update the index.html to remove hard-coded categories. Fine. So you have to change this select. Okay. So it is saying what? Replace the category select elements. So whenever we have select ID category, we need just this. So go to index, select ID category. Yes. Okay. So instead of this, we need only this, because how options will come now? Options will be generated by the JavaScript. Okay, I will show you. Definitely ChatGPT is doing that. Otherwise, it will not work. And for filter, you can see, yes, for filter, you can see it is also giving a default option that is all. Okay, that is all. Because all will not come from that JSON. Okay, in this category, we have the categories like food, transport, shopping, this. But all will not come. Yes or no? Now you can see. style. It is saying, it is telling what? Remove all these. Why? Because now we will generate these classes dynamically. Okay, so beautiful response, you can say. So food, transport, these are not required. Yeah, category colors not required. Okay, now next thing is full updated app.js. That means this is the entire code. Okay, we have to write, we have to copy and paste this entirely. Beautifully written. Fine. Okay, we will see the code. We will try to understand. I am going to give you the intro about this new JS file. But before that, let me check it is working fine or not. So save all and let's see it is working fine or not. First of all, you can see in the local storage we have empty. Can you see? In this we have no key value pair. Okay, internally it is nothing but a key value pair map. Okay, so let me add. So title is suppose LPG bill. Okay, it is suppose 1000. Then it is bills. Okay, can you see these categories are coming properly? Bills, add expense. Yeah, the color is also coming properly. Now another expense is flight from. Now we are going to Goa. Okay, so Mumbai to Goa, and it is suppose 25K. Okay, it is travel and add expense. Okay, now filter by category is working. Yes, you can see the options are also coming. Though in the HTML, it is only all option is available. And here you can see no option. But still it is working. How? Because behind the scene JavaScript worked fine. Okay, JavaScript done everything. Now you can see if I see bills, it is showing only bills. Travel, it is showing only travel. Okay, if all, it will show everything. Beautiful. Now can I check in the local storage it is saved or not? Yeah. Can you see now expenses is internally having this data. Now we can actually visualize the data. Earlier what happened? The same data was there, but in the JavaScript memory we have not seen that. But in this case, what is happening? In this case, this data we can see in the storage. Now, though you are closing this, suppose I am closing the tab. Okay, let me open a new window. Still, you can see the data are available. Beautiful, fantastic thing. So what is happening here? The data is taken from the local storage at the time of loading of that application. Okay, now you can see what is written in the app.js. First of all, it is checking the expenses as well as categories because now dynamic, both are dynamic, both may be changed, so variable is required. Now, as previous, it is doing the logic like uh, earlier we have what? Earlier we have uh, this total amount expense list like this. Now it is adding the filter category and category. Can you see? Get element by filter hyphen category and category. Why? Because now we need the control on these two select. One select is ID category, another select is ID filter hyphen category. Okay, so we need the control on this. Okay, then we will add those option element. Okay, let me show you that information. In the category select, you can see what it is doing, what it is doing. So it is load categories function. Okay, load categories function. What it is doing? First, it is taking that data. So you can see fetch. Fetch is predefined method or function in the JavaScript. Okay, by using fetch, you can actually ask for data. It may be your internal resource or maybe external resource. We can also do what? When we have the backend. Okay, so we are going to give the backend URL, our own backend URL. Okay, So it is giving some response. Now the response is converted to the JSON. Okay. Now these categories we have taken. Now for each categories, what we have done, we have created the element option. Okay. So document is what already I have told you in the last session. Document you can tell at this moment is your page, what you can see in the browser. So that document, by using that document object, we are creating one element, that is option. Okay. Now for this option, we are giving the value and we are giving the text content. Okay. What are these? Here you can see option is having two things. One is value and one is the actual thing that will be shown in the UI. Okay. So value means what? Whenever you are selecting that option, internally it will provide the value with this. Okay. So all with a capital, you are selecting this, but internally the value is what? All with a small. Okay. So these two information we have provided dynamically in this way. So opt dot value is equal to what? This category dot name dot to lowercase. That means everything is in lowercase, and text content is the same, category dot name. Okay. And the name we are getting from here. So the exactly whatever you are writing here, that key it is taking here. Okay. Why name? Because it is written here. Understood? So the JSON is actually you are seeing in text format. Now to convert this text into JavaScript understandable object, we have done these many things. Okay. Now after doing this, now it is JavaScript format object. Now from JavaScript formatted object, we are generating this option tag. Now at the end, can you see category select dot append child this option? That means in this select, category select was what? Can you see get element by ID category? That means that select element. Now inside that select element, we are appending as a child this option. So this option will be appended inside that select. Okay. Now here one more categories. It is doing what? Uh, Two things are there. Why two? One is category select, another is filter category. Okay. So why two? One is category select, another is filter category. Because there are two select element, and for both select elements, we need the same options to be appended. Okay. Now inject category CSS, because internally it will generate the color now, background color. Okay. So you can look into this. Okay. Generally JavaScript is actually easy language. Okay. Actually do you know JavaScript is a scripting language. Scripting language means you can understand it very beautifully and you can use it for different purpose. Okay. That's why it is called scripting language. So that's why you can, if you look into this now, I hope you can understand. Okay. So it is very basic thing. If you have any other language knowledge previously, then it will be better to understand. Okay. Now the thing is that is difficult here to understand is this, what is this async, what is this await. Now these in-depth knowledge, if you require, you have to learn JavaScript in them, because at this moment we are not in a scope to let you understand what is this async, what is this await. Okay. Why try is used here? We don't, if we don't use the try, what will happen? Okay. Now we are not in a position to let you understand about this. Okay. Because this is a code camp, it is not an in-depth session. Okay. But these are really very interesting. How these are working is very interesting. By the way, you can see window.onload. Now remember, I have already told you that internally these are called what? Onload. If you are performing anything immediately after loading of your application is called what? Onload event. In JavaScript, there are so many events like onload. Earlier you have seen on submit. I have told you now, on submit, on change, on click, on mouse move, on key up, on key down. So thousand number of events are there. Not thousand. actually less than 1,000, but there are so many events, and those events are actually making our HTML more dynamic. Okay, so whenever you are working, you are depending on so many user interactions, then your JavaScript events will help you. Okay, so in this way, it is dynamically giving those options. Now, if you look into this, it is also easy thing that how the CSS value is actually taken and it is injecting for this background color, because our JSON contains one more information, that is color code. Okay, now one more thing. Whenever it is loading, at the time, not only that options, but also the local storage related things are happening. That means take the data from local storage if available. And one more thing, whenever you are saving, it is not only saving the expense into the temporary JavaScript storage, but also it is storing in the local storage, that is used for storing the data permanently. Actually, it is exactly not permanently. You can delete it manually. Let me show you. It is not exactly permanently. We cannot say. Uh, you can right click and can you see delete option is there. If you delete, then again you will lost the data. Again, you have to save all this information. Okay, so that's why we cannot say it permanent. And one more thing, if you go to browser history and select everything, you will clear everything, then also local storage will be deleted. So that's why we cannot say it permanent, but at most we are achieving the maximum age of the data by using local storage, because there are so many types of storage already I have told you, and the age of the data you are storing in the different types of storage, that is also different. By using the local storage, we can actually achieve the maximum age of the data you are storing. Fine. How it is working? You can see in the onload, first of all, it is doing for load category. It is going for a load category. Then it is going for one more thing. Load expenses from local storage. It is a function. In VS Code, just control and keep pressing control. And by using mouse, you click here, automatically you will go to this function. Okay. How it is doing this? Local storage dot get item and the key expenses. Key is what? In the browser, you can see in the local storage the data is available. Okay, now here you can see key value pair. Now the value is actually the thing that you have the business. Okay, you are worried about the value. That means user data will be stored inside the value, but internally JavaScript developer will handle the key. Okay, you have to remember the key you are using while storing the data, because at the time of retrieval the same key is necessary. So the key is expenses here. Okay, you can take X, you can take Y, whatever. So that is, in this case, expenses is the key. So that's why get item method is called with the value expenses. So what it will return? It will return this value. That means the entire JSON that you can see here. Okay, it will return this saved. Okay. Now the thing is, and now still it is in the format of string format. That means double quoted. Now it needs to be converted into corresponding JavaScript object. Okay, so that's why JSON.parse method is used. JSON means JavaScript object notation. Now JSON is a predefined object in the JavaScript. Okay, so many predefined objects you are learning here. What? Window, predefined object. Document, predefined object. This JSON also predefined object in JavaScript. So this JSON.parse is actually used for converting the string into corresponding JavaScript data format. Understood? Again, JSON.stringify, another method is there. Later, if required, we will see. So JSON.stringify, what it will do? That reverse, that means provide the JavaScript object, it will return the corresponding string value. Okay. So here you can see the entire thing, the value is what? String formatted data. Now the string formatted data is converted into expenses. Okay. Now, yes, here you can see stringify. Now it is what? Save expenses function. That means whenever you are clicking in the save button, or whenever you are clicking on the add button, where is the button? Uh, somewhere the button is there. Yes, add expense button. Where is the add expense button? Yes. No, this is the heading. Yes, this is the add expense button. So it is having the form. Okay, so how that means see the approach. How I am going to the exact coding that is responsible for this. First of all, if there is no ID, there is a huge chance that the JavaScript is not directly targeting on this button. Okay, because already I have told you ID means it may be targeted by JavaScript. Now in this case, no ID means I can assume that directly button is not targeted by the JavaScript. Then what? You can see the button type is submit. That means definitely it is inside one form tag. Now in the form tag, we have the ID. That means when the form submit, some event is occurring. Either the button click or the form submit. Okay, now let me go there. Form ID is what? Expense hyphen form. Search it here. Now this is the form. Now form dot submit. Like this type of thing should be there. So form dot submit. Let me search it. Yes, can you see form dot add event listener? One event is added. That means whenever it is submitted, call this function add expense function. Okay, now you see in the add expense function, first of all, I have already told you why this prevent default is required, because there is some default behavior, we have to prevent it. Now, the title amount category is taken, that we have already seen. Now, this is the new thing, save expense function. It is calling. Why? Because this function is actually responsible to store the information into the local storage. That's why you can see in the save expenses local storage dot set item. So to retrieve the information, we have the get item, and to set the information, to store the information, we have the set item method. Now again, whenever you are setting, the same key is used, and the value will be what? I have told you that string data needs to be stored. That's why expenses is the key, and the value is the corresponding string value of that JavaScript object. Okay, I hope up to this is very clear. So up to now, what we have seen, so we have seen how we are taking the category data and color code dynamically. Really, if you believe me or not, let me show you one thing. I am adding one category. Okay, just I don't know what will be the color. So that's why suppose I am giving this hexadecimal random value. A random value. I don't know what color will come. Hexadecimal value. Okay. Now type is suppose which type is not there. Fuel is not there. My favorite. So many times I'm searching, but it is not coming. Okay, now fuel is there. I'm keeping it at the end. That means before other. Now save it, and if I see, can you see the fuel is also coming? Here also the fuel is also coming. Okay, very beautiful thing. If you remove, suppose entertainment I am removing. Okay, suppose you don't love entertainment, you will remove the entertainment, and you can see in the category entertainment instead there. Suppose health is there, na? Suppose we want to remove the health, so just remove this JSON file. That means modify the JSON. Can you see health is not there in this way? So up to this, what we have learned, taking the data dynamically from the JSON file, and I am storing in the and I am rendering in the HTML file. And one more thing is the entire expense. Now we are storing in the local storage. Why local storage? I hope you have the answer. Okay, and whenever we are opening the application for the first time, the data is also taken, okay, from the local storage. So I hope these two things are understandable by you, and these two things are enough for today. Okay, in the next session we are going to do this pie chart. Okay, we are going to design this pie chart, and one more JavaScript related discussion I am going to discuss, that is which is better, which is better, like this uh, adding in this way, that form dot add event listener, this is better, or here you can give on submit that event, that is better. Which is better, that I am going to discuss also. Okay, and then the final thing, that is deploying the application, and I am going to share some URL. By that URL everyone in the world can access my application in this way. Okay, that is called deploying. That is the final touch. But on the next session, this development related last things. Okay, so what is our main intention? Our concept will be developed, what I have told, a basic expense tracker where you can learn from form handling. Okay, so we have already seen how form handling is working, that add event listener, okay, on submit event. Now list rendering, today I have seen, today I have shown. Okay, so list rendering, that means showing that options or generating the tables. Okay, this falls under list rendering, and storage management also we have seen. Okay, so more or less our major portion is already designed. Now the remaining portion we will, that means remaining development portion we will cover in the next session. And if time permits, I'm going to show you the deployment also in the next session. Then it will be the end of our this code camp session. Okay, so the 90% of the development is done. The remaining development and deployment is also only remaining. Okay, so that's all for today. We will meet in the next session.